The rake, a monster that lived in a forest in the north of the USA, with the location of the forest still yet to find. The rake was a 2 meters tall monster who hid in a cave in the middle of the forest. Many people had already visited that forest, but they couldn't find anything until someone went missing there during the night. It was there when many researchers started to investigate that accident. Most of the people who went to the forest went missing. Only 2 researchers came back, one was injured and the other one was crying after the picture he had took in the forest of the rake that night. After this, the SCP Foundation went on that forest to investigate about all the incidents that took place there. They managed to capture Rake and keep him in one of the facilities for 8 years. After some containment breaches, the Rake managed to escape the facilities and went back to the same forest. When he came back, the Rake wasn't the same. He lost a lot of weight at the point that you were able to see almost all of his bones, and his height changed from 2 meters to 1.5 meters. After all of the years that Rake was in the SCP facilities, the locations in the forest changed. A cabin that was there, it was almost destroyed, and the tower of that forest was oxidated and its roof fell off. No one talked about how Rake was captured by the SCP Foundation, unless how he managed to escape from there to go back to the forest. During those years that Rake was in the SCP facilities, it was believed as a myth. Until a group of friends went on that forest to spend 7 nights. There were 12 people who went to the forest that week. The first day nothing happened, but they discovered the cave, the safe house and the tower. That day, they decided to spend the night on the tower. When they woke up, everything was normal, but there were some footsteps all around the tower, meaning that someone or something went there. The second night, they decided to explore the forest, which was a horrible idea because the Rake found them and they managed to escape to then find another small cabin. They knocked on the door but no one answered, and when they turned around, the Rake found them once again and they managed to get to the safe house and spend the night there. When it was daytime, the third day, we explored more and managed to find an abandoned base camp with an old bus. But when we tried to escape from there, the bus began to malfunction and let the bus without brakes, causing us to crash. Luckily, the bus wasn't going in a high speed, so everyone survived and no one was injured, and we came back to the safe house. That night, the group went again to the camp to investigate more about that location, and we found some radios, but one was special. With one of the radios we found, we could communicate with the militaries, and we did. We asked for supplies and then, we went to the tower hoping for rescue or for supplies. That night, the Rake screamed at the bottom of the tower, but everyone kept silence and Rake left. The 5th day, a helicopter went to the forest and gave everyone a supply drop. In all the supply crates there were stun sticks, an UV lantern, 2 medkits, and 2 vitamins. That night the group fought Rake, but somehow Rake wasn't taking a lot of damage. He became more and more aggressive, until all the stun sticks and UV light stopped working, and this happened. The Rake became faster than us and became more aggressive. That mood of Rake lasted for an hour and then it became daytime. In that morning 4 people went missing out of the 12 that arrived the first day. Then in the afternoon the rescue was there, the group got out of there. No one wanted to say anything, because we were preparing a revenge on RAKE after what just happened. We all left our equipment hidden somewhere in the forest and left. After 5 months of the previous events, the same group, but with the 4 that died during the blood hour of RAKE, went again to that same forest to take revenge on the RAKE. When they arrived to the forest, there were some massive changes. First, the trees were taller than before and there was 2 new locations. One looked like an abandoned shack. I don't think that worked because it was destroyed, and most importantly there was a bunker next to the small abandoned house and the power station. We knocked, but no one answered. Then we went to the base camp to get our equipment back, but it wasn't there. We searched in all the forest until we got again to that little house, and there was someone inside. He said he didn't have a name, but we named him the Merchant. He told us that he got our equipment and if we wanted to get it back we needed to find some scraps around the forest. We agreed and we went to the safe house to spend the rest of the day. This time we bring a camera to shoot some photos if we found RAKE. The first night we decided to explore the forest and we found some scraps, but then we got attacked by RAKE at the power station. We managed to take a picture of him and we run to the safe house and spent the night there. The second day we examined the photo we took on RAKE last night, and there were some massive changes. First, he grew up to almost 2 meters tall. He also gained weight and looked more stronger. After that, we visited that merchant again hoping that the little scraps we found were enough, but he told us we needed a little more. This night, we went on the base camp to see if our radios were still there, and they were. But the only one that was missing was the one to communicate with the militaries. After that it became night time and we went to the tower and we found some scraps, but then we got attacked by the RAKE there, so we run to the safe house, but we got lost and we found the old bus that we found 5 months ago. We found more scraps there and we went to the safe house to spend the night there. But we got attacked, so we went to the tower and rested there. In the morning we visited the merchant and he agreed to give us all the equipment back. So we got equipped and when it became night, we found RAKE and fought him. He was becoming more and more aggressive. But then we hit him one last time and he ran to his cave. The RAKE didn't come back that night and we spent the night in the safe house peacefully. The next day, we gave the merchant more scraps and he gave us some bear traps. He told us to use them if it was necessary. Then when it became night time, we fought RAKE again, but he was becoming more and more aggressive. This time he wasn't taking none of our hits, and then this happened.